What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Deej. Thank you guys for joining me in another video today. Just came back from a bird's vacation, so definitely it's been a while since I made my last video. But first of all, I just want to give a big shout out to the Oklahoma City Thunder, and we're gonna do a sports NBA overview today. So obviously, again, congratulations to Oklahoma City Thunder. They are your NBA 2025 champions. SGA caps off his MVP season with a Finals MVP with 29 points and 4 rebounds and 12 assists, only 1 turnovers. After turning the ball over 8 times, he bounces back with a really solid performance to really, complete his season. Great season, and SGA has cemented himself for sure as a top 3 player in this league for sure. Just again, a solid game. Obviously, unfortunately, as you guys saw, the injury to Tyrese Halliburton, very unfortunate for him. He looked like he was gearing for a really big game. He had 9 points to really kind of kick the game off, and that's something you've been searching for him, right? To really set the tone. And to me, with those 3 big threes he hit, like, he was gearing up for, I think, a really good game, and to try to pull off an upset versus Oklahoma City. Indiana's been the underdog throughout the postseason, and they've continued to prove others and even myself wrong. And unfortunately, it came to a very disappointing end. And you got to give it to Indiana. They fought, that team led by Rick Carlisle, they fought hard. They are really, they're really resilient. They don't back down through any challenge they face. They continue to, put it all out there for the entire 48 minutes, unfortunately. And they had the game. Look, and, a lot of people are going to say, well, if Halliburton doesn't get hurt, maybe so. If Halliburton does finish this game and he plays the rest of the game, doesn't get injured, Lord knows, who knows, right? But look, injuries happen. Tyrese Halliburton already had a calf strain, right? He knew the risks, and I'm not using that against him at all. But, he played through an injury that, again, is very serious. And if you push it, it's going to lead to that devastating injury. And, I do figure that it is an Achilles injury, and I think we're going to expect to hear that, unfortunate news that he's likely going to miss the 2025-2026 NBA season. Again, it's a very unfortunate, but my prayers to him. And again, it was just disappointing. It's just a disappointing, end for the Indiana for how hard they fought. But look, OKC, from the start of the season to the eventual finish, they were the top team. Their defense is it's definitely one of the best defenses we've seen in NBA history. Just J-Dub being second team all defense. The Alex Caruso trade proved to be like the to be the X factor, right? Trading Josh Giddey for Alex Caruso, that was the needle mover. Also signing Isaiah Hartenstein to allow Chet Holmgren to play the 4. You get your 5 who can really rebound and also put the ball in the bucket as well. And, Isaiah Hartenstein and J-Dub, right? He's been a bit up and down, but when J-Dub has needed to step up, J-Dub has really, that game 5 where he had 40 points was huge for them, right? That was a huge performance for him. And he, to me, cemented himself, regardless of the inconsistency a bit, cemented himself as one of the best number 2 options, if not the best number 2 option in the NBA. And now he's a champion. Obviously, you speak to the greatness of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, right? I think his game, it annoys people. It even annoys me sometimes. I was just talking to my boy Tsai about it. But look, great players get it done, and that's what he's done. Shai, coming off the MVP season, where he averaged 32, 5, and 6. Again, just winning, the MVP. He's now won a Finals MVP. And now he's won the ring, the championship, and also the scoring title as well. I think for my boy Sai, he joins Michael Jordan and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Shaquille O'Neal. Only he's now in an elite category. It's just those 4 guys. So Shai has joined elite company with the greats. Shai is also I'm sure nobody shouldn't deny this as well, that Shai Gilgeous is now the greatest Thunder player of all time. I think that is to me, that's no hesitation. Look, Kevin Durant, he left, played there 6 years, was there, but he left, went to Golden State, didn't play there long enough. Russell Westbrook, I think, was the best player up to the point until Shai, was able to, he did something that Russell Westbrook just couldn't do, which was get OKC a title, and Shea has done that. Shea has led OKC to their first title since becoming the Oklahoma City Thunder 17 years ago. Sam Presti has done a phenomenal job with the talent he's continued to draft, and put the pieces and the personnel in there and the coaching to develop. Mark Denton is now a champion. You got to give it to him, and doing a great job with that young team. And I've always thought about Oklahoma City being the best team for like young players, specifically players who are raw and maybe need development for them to go, because Oklahoma City, they produce so much talent. They've done it with Kevin Durant, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Victor Oladipo, Serge Ibaka, Reggie Jackson, even Domantas Sabonis, where he started his career there. Like Oklahoma's in now, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Paul George, or just the guys that they've brought in, developed. Oklahoma City Thunder, they deserve a lot of credit, and kudos to them, man. Kudos to them. Much respect to them. More news as well. Speaking of Kevin Durant was traded today. He was traded to the Houston Rockets in a big blockbuster deal, and a pretty big blockbuster deal. In return, the Rockets, they get Kevin Durant, and they're going to send the Suns the number 10 overall pick, Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, and 5 second-round picks. So I think for me, I think this is a win for the Houston Rockets, because they get Kevin Durant, who even at this age has still been, a very consistent scorer. He's averaging 26, 6, and 4, and also had the best season of his career shooting off the dribble, and specific statistics there where he's shooting from the mid-range to three-pointers. Kevin Durant is still a 40-90 type of guy, where he's shooting 50% from the floor, 40% from three, and damn near 90% from the free throw range. Kevin Durant, at damn near age 38, is still one of the best prolific scorers, and is probably going to be one of the going down. He's a certified Hall of Famer, right? He's there with LeBron, Steph, KD. It's been those guys that have really carried, like, our generation of basketball, and it's definitely, we just have to enjoy, these greats that we have still. When LeBron, with them getting older, you just don't know when their time is up, and it's going to be unfortunate when, we get that notification one day that, LeBron retires. That one's going to be crazy. Steph is going to be crazy too, and even Kevin Durant. I think Kevin Durant has kind of gotten overshadowed with how things have transpired throughout, the last, 7 years of his career. But to me, there's more to the story, with him, and why the Brooklyn situation didn't work out. To me, it was point blank obvious why the Suns situation didn't work out. I think the Bradley Beal trade really just messed that whole team up, and it really put them downhill. And Kevin Durant, as good as he was, still couldn't elevate them to be great, because the team and the personnel and just the constant change with head coaches, that's no recipe for success. And we're seeing it too, like with Oklahoma City winning a championship. One, you need depth, and you've got to build your team where you're under the luxury tax. Like with Phoenix, for them to pay all that money and to not win, to be in the playoffs is showing you that's you can't be over aggressive. And that's what the second apron was made to do. It's made to basically prevent teams from building these super teams and giving them the assets and stuff required to allow them to build teams and contenders. I think, to me, we are past the Big Three era with like the LeBron, the Miami Heat era, and then, obviously with Steph, KD, Clay. I think we're past that, even with the Big Three from Brooklyn, with Kevin Durant was in with Brooklyn, and Kyrie Irving and James Harden. I think we're past that now. I think, in the end, the second apron has been made to stop that. So I think the Suns, they've learned a hard lesson, and hopefully with the assets they did recoup, they can, and that number 10 pick, I think, is very valuable. I think for the Suns too, they do get the assets, they do get a lot of picks. They get 6 picks, including that number 10 pick, but their team now still just doesn't make a lot of sense. They've got 4 shooting guards and no point guard, right? They've got Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, Jalen Green, and Grayson Allen, who are 2 guards, right? So it's going to be interesting how that's going to work with them. Like, are you going to continue to have Devin Booker play the point guard and have Bradley Beal? It's very unfortunate too for Bradley Beal. He's probably going to have to play the rest of his contract out, and I think he's still got 2 to 3 more years left on that deal. So And I think they're going to try like hell to trade him, but it's going to be damn near impossible because, again, he's in control, and no team wants him because he's injury prone. He's not the Bradley Beal of old, and he makes a lot of money. My team is not going to. It's kind of like the Kirk Cousins situation in the NFL now, where you see an older player, who's not playing at the peak of his career anymore, but he's making so much money. Like, teams don't want to take on that responsibility financially, and the player, they're not getting that much in return with the player as well. So it's unfortunate there. But obviously, as you know too, Desmond Bane a week ago was traded to the Orlando Magic, and it's crazy, right, man? Like, the Luka Doncic trade, man, just looks even worse now from Dallas' side, because you see Luka Doncic only goes for a first round pick. They only got a first round pick for him, but Desmond Bane, who's not even an all-star, and look, again, Desmond Bane is a really good basketball player. He is one of the best three-point shooting players in the NBA, and he's a stud. Desmond Bane is good, but for a guy who hasn't made an all-star team, and it's the same thing kind of too, and I hate to bring up the Knicks, my boys in their Knicks, but again, like, what is truly the value of these players? Are we now overvaluing, role, like, near star to not all-star players, and they're going for 4 to 5 first-round picks compared to the top global guys who are now being traded just for, a first-round pick bare minimum and a lot of second-round picks? You feel what I'm saying? Like, that the NBA got some explaining to do with that, because that makes no sense. But again, I like that move for Orlando, even though, again, I think the move does open with obviously and unfortunately with Tyrese Halliburton's injury with Indiana, the East is officially wide open. Like, that is an honest discussion we have to ask. The Eastern Conference is fully wide open now because Indiana's not going to be, to me, it would be shocking if Indiana were back in the NBA Finals without Tyrese Halliburton. They're not going to be back here, right? So the East is wide open. It's up for grabs, right? Because Cleveland, can they rebound? Can they respond? Can Donovan Mitchell get the Cleveland Cavaliers back, and can they make a run with the Orlando Magic making this move? Will they really propel? Can Paolo Banchero, can the Orlando Magic, can they stay healthy, and can they take that next step? What will Giannis Antetokounmpo do? Will he stay in Milwaukee and kind of still help them be competitive, right? Will my Hawks, as you see by my shirt here, will we do something? The New York Knicks, what are they going to do specifically with their head coaching hire, and what do they do with adding depth to really help propel their roster? Like, the Eastern Conference, and obviously there's other teams that I'm missing, but there's the Eastern Conference is wide open. The Detroit Pistons are another team on the rise that can make a move to really help them take the next jump after seeing what they were able to do, get to the NBA but to the NBA playoffs, and also have go a hardcore 6 games with the New York Knicks. Like, the Eastern Conference is wide open, but obviously OKC is the standard, they're the team to beat now, right? And I think OKC is really cool for them. I think, unfortunately, we're gearing up, y'all, to see another dynasty. I think this is a team, again, with the infrastructure they put, and again, they're an apron team, but they're not in the second apron. I do expect them to extend J-Dub and give him the rookie max. I expect Chet Holmgren, despite his inconsistency. Look, Chet is still raw. Chet, if he can stay healthy, and if Chet can really develop his offensive game combined with his elite defensive, because to me, Chet is already an elite all-NBA type of defender. He just has to develop that offensive game and consistency to really take it, to become that true two-way player that he's destined to be if he continues to develop. But he had a really solid game. I think he had 14 points, 9 rebounds, 4 blocks. Like, again, the talent is there for him. He just has to put it all together. But I do think, especially after winning the championship, you're going to see their big 3 get extensions. Shea, I think, is eligible for an extension. I don't expect he's eligible for a massive extension. I think it's like anything that pays him up from $73 million to $81 million. I expect him to take less, so that it'll give the team to still keep their window open to continue to win championships. And again, if Oklahoma City is healthy, and if Chet Holmgren, again, if they can develop J-Dub, J-Dub to me has cemented himself as a true number 2 option. If he finds that consistency to his game, And even still, like J-Dub, when they needed buckets and they needed him the most in Game 5, that huge 40-point game he had in Game 5 was huge for them. And what's the name, when he again, and it was up, it was bad game 6 for the whole team. But then Game 7 wasn't his best shooting night, but when they needed buckets to really put them away, to put Indiana away, J-Dub came up clutch. And J-Dub is already a two-way player in his own right. He's an all-NBA player. He's him and Lou Dort are all NBA defenders. Lou Dort being first team and J-Dub being second team. So that's what's so great about this Oklahoma City team. It's just the defense. It's the depth and the defense that they have. And to me, it's funny because to me they didn't win. I felt like they didn't win, and their talent is still not fully developed yet. And that's what's more dangerous about Oklahoma City. They're going to be more dangerous next year, in my opinion, than what they were winning the title this year. And again, like, unfortunately, with the Tyrese Halliburton, it sucks. It really does. But Oklahoma, you just have to give them credit. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander being the leader of this team, and it's crazy, right? Seeing them trade, when they traded Paul George to the Clippers and they got Shai, and for Shai to come to go from a Clipper and now be a Thunder, and to get your future franchise player, and now he's your greatest player in franchise history. That is awesome. That's really crazy, right? It's amazing for sure. What a great NBA season this was. It was definitely a great season. Looking forward to next season. But now your boy's ready for some football. I am so excited. I can't wait for the NFL season to come back, so that way we can really talk about some football. Because your boy, listen, I really like the NBA. I really like it, but I love football. You know what I'm saying? So, but again, we'll see. Obviously, the NBA draft is this Wednesday. We'll see how that goes. Obviously, Cooper Flag is going to be the number 1 overall pick. We'll see how the rest of the draft pans out. And if we'll see if we'll even see some more trades as well. What will Giannis Antetokounmpo do is, I think, the next major, topic in the NBA moving forward into the offseason. And without further ado, guys, it's late. I'm definitely going to shut it down now. So y'all have a blessed one. Y'all be safe, and peace out. Stay blessed.